In Provo. Trey, what are some of the major changes we're going to see on that road?
Bulldog Boulevard will look drastically different with major changes coming from the city this year.
Bulldog Boulevard is a heavily used road that leads right up to BYU's front doorstep. The city of Provo held an open house at Provo High to show their plans for the street. The open house showed maps and visuals of what the street will look like after the construction.
The biggest thing that people will see, well, there's several big things. We're reducing 3 lanes in each direction to 2 for vehicles, adding a bike lane, and that bike lane will be buffered in some places with a curb, sometimes striping.
The new format is meant to encourage bike riding over driving a car. The changes will not just include some repainting, but some pretty significant construction. Bulldog has a high crash rate that is 7.5 times higher than the state average. The road has proven to be dangerous in the past for drivers and especially for bike riders.
Bulldog is a very crash-prone corridor. That involves both vehicles and pedestrians and bicyclists. We've had lots of bicycle crashes on here. We've had a bicycle fatality.
Various groups are helping fund the project in order to help the city finish as quickly as possible. Beside the function of the road, visually, the road will be more appealing. Trees and plants are going to be added on the medians. The changes could restrict accessibility for cars due to the loss of a lane, but it's a major step forward for bicyclists.
And we think that this improvement will make it a much safer, more usable experience and more attractive experience for non-motorized users.
There's no exact time frame on how long this project is going to take. The city hopes to start before the end of this year. I'm Trey Harris, and I'm reporting live for 11 News in Provo.
BYU football is hiring analysts to help assist the coaches and prepare for games. Some of the larger schools, such as Alabama, use analysts to break down film and prepare the scheme for upcoming games.
Anything Alabama does must be good.
BYU is playing Washington next season, and the national powerhouse Huskies use analysts also. Each NCAA team is allowed 10 full-time assistant coaches. Analysts are not the same as assistant coaches, so their duties are very different. Analysts cannot recruit, and they cannot be involved in skill development of the players. These analysts can help prepare game film and use data to put together tendencies of teams. In order to hire the analysts, an investment needs to be made in order to bring them on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously something needs to change, and maybe this is the answer.
After a historically bad season, the team may look to these analysts to help get them back on track. Coaches do not have time to look into the tiny details of film, and the analysts will have the time to know and understand every detail of an opponent. Lots of these analysts are graduate assistants transitioning to coaching or former coaches looking to get back into a program. Analysts do not need to be enrolled at the school. Alabama had 9 analysts on their staff last year, and BYU is planning on hiring 4. No hires have been made, and there is no official date on when the hiring could be happening. BYU has an incredibly difficult 2018 schedule, and something needs to be done in order to compete next season. The analysts may be the answer to the 2017 woes and may help the team get in stride with the national powerhouse.
5 public recruitments in the last 8 months, and the recruitments happen all over Utah. UHP is losing some of their patrolmen to recruitment and other agencies. Highway Patrol does not have a shortage of people applying. They just want to get the best recruits before the other agencies take them. UHP says they hold their patrolmen to higher standards than other departments.
We'll do a recruitment of 400 people, and we may only end up hiring 13. Just because if we feel like if we lower our standards or change what we're looking for, then we're going to have issues down the line in that trooper's career.
Utah Highway Patrol does not allow visible tattoos on their recruits or previous felonies. The recruiting process takes roughly 4 months due to different tests and background checks. The public recruitments will continue as long as they keep producing good recruits. A patrolman needs to work for 25 years in order to obtain full retirement.
Pleasant Grove brings home its first ever state title in men's soccer after a dramatic PK shootout. The Vikings took down the 19-0 Harriman Mustangs after overcoming a deficit and doing what they do best.
6A men's soccer underdog, the Pleasant Grove Vikings, beat the Harriman Mustangs in a penalty kick shootout on the final shot to secure their first ever state title. It is the second year in a row Harriman has lost on a penalty kick shootout in the state championship.
That's upsetting.
Thank you for your attention.
After the warm-up and introduction of the players, Harriman came playing fast and attacking Pleasant Grove. Harriman took the early lead after a mistake by PG goalie Chris Jenkinson. Mustangs forward Isaac Chance scored the goal. Pleasant Grove was struggling to pass the ball due to the aggressive defense of Harriman.
So they just need to settle down. They need to play their game.
Harriman went into the half leading 1-0.
Playing tired.
change at the half.
Coming out of half, PG returned to their old ways and started to play more physical. Both teams put plenty of shots on goal until PG's Tyler Ashby finally smacked the back of the net and tied the game 1-1. Tensions ran high throughout the game as time ticked down. The Harriman goalie took a barrage of shots right down till the final seconds of the game. PG would have another chance, planking a shot off the crossbar with 2 seconds left in the game. After 2 hard-fought overtimes, neither team could put the icing on the cake. It came time for a penalty kick shootout, and the Pleasant Grove goalie, Jenkinson, redeemed his early mistake by saving 2 of the penalty kicks. The Harriman keeper, J.D. Myers, also saved one of the penalty kicks and scored a PK himself. Myers had a great game, but it was not enough to hold off PG. The Vikings won the shootout on the final shot and took the victory from 19-0 undefeated Harriman.
Although Harriman controlled the majority of the game down to the final minutes, Pleasant Grove found a way to pull it all together and take home the title. PG focused on what they do best and won in dramatic fashion over a previously 19-0 opponent. Reporting from 11 News live in Provo, I'm Trey Harris.
Thanks, Trey.